Hi everyone, my name is Jeffrey Martin and I'm here today to give you a book talk about a few books that are related to diversity. Diversity is all around us, whether it be differences in religion, culture, ethnicity, race, or just the way people act or the way they look. Diversity and differences are all around us, and that's something that we should celebrate and not consider the people to be weird, but consider them to be different and learn from them. Well, the first book I would like to talk to you about today is called Mockingbird by Catherine Erskine. What would you do if your best friend was killed in a school shooting? This is what happens to Caitlin. Caitlin has Asperger's, a disorder which causes her to have trouble with social interaction and nonverbal communication. Normally, when she comes up with questions, which she always does, she goes to her brother and best friend, Devin, for help and understanding. When Devin is killed in a middle school shooting, she's left alone with her father, who's grieving so badly that he can barely take care of himself. What will Caitlin do? Right, the next book I would like to talk about is What Color Is My World by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Raymond Opsfeld, illustrated by Ben Booz and A.G. Ford. Have you ever heard of Frederick McKinley Jones? No? What about Dr. James Dean? No? What about Lonnie Anderson? Well, what if I told you that these three people are all African American inventors who have invented things like the refrigerated car, the public computer, or the Super Soaker water gun? Well, this book is filled with many little known African American inventors and innovators who have helped change our lives today. It's told around a fictional story where a wise, knowledgeable man named Mr. Mattal is talking to two twins, Ella and Herbie, about why they should be proud of their African American heritage. All right, the next story I want to talk about is called Same Sun Here by Silas House and Neela Vaswani. To start this off, I'm going to read a passage from the beginning of this book. August 8th, 2008. Dear River, I cannot tell from your name if you're a boy or a girl, so I will just write to you like you're a human being. You're the first American I know whose name means something, so I think maybe you are not from this country. My brother says you are. He says all people in Kentucky are Americans, not like in New York City, where people are from everywhere in the world. My brother is 17 years old. He has a big smile and strong legs because he is a bike messenger. All the girls love him, which makes him very conceited. Personally, I don't think the girls would love him anymore if they had to pick up his smelly socks up off the floor. When I first came here, I didn't like New York, but my brother helped me find appreciation by telling me interesting things. For example, did you know that there is a curse on the Brooklyn Bridge? When my brother looks at something, he sees how it works. He is like that about skyscrapers and subways. Next year, he'll be a student at CUNY. He wants to make a great invention so he can go to MIT for free. He may have smelly feet, but he is still my favorite person. I say person because I have a favorite dog. His name is Cuba, and a favorite parakeet. His name is Zizi. You know what goes with rivers? Fish. My name is Mina, and that means fish. Everyone in my family calls me Mimi. I'm 12 years old. I like to run up and down the stairs, and I can go all 5 flights without stopping. I like to feed pigeons, although it is against the law, and I like to read books from the Seward Park Library, which is 8 blocks from here. This week I borrowed A Tree Grows in Brooklyn, a novel by Betty Smith. I'm on page 92, and it is sad and very exciting. I think you're like me and don't have a computer, since your name was on the snail mail list. I could go to the library and send you an email from my brother's Yahoo, but the line is always long and you only get a half an hour, and I type very slow, like a turtle. Kiku, this is what we call my brother, although his real name is Karan. He has a computer, but he always keeps it in his backpack with him. Anyway, I'm used to writing letters because my grandmother doesn't have a phone, and I'm reading in a book about a girl named Francie who lived in 1912 when there were no computers. I've decided that I want to be like her. This starts the pen pal friendship of Mina, a 12-year-old girl who has immigrated to America from India, and Rivers, a young boy in a Kentucky Appalachian town that is being taken over by mountaintop removal, which is a type of mining that sacrifices beauty and landscaping beauty for profit, really, for mining those resources. All right. The next book I'm going to talk about is The Mad Potter, George E. Orr, Eccentric Genius, by Jan Greenberg and Sandra Jordan. In 2010, Southern Living named the Orr O'Keefe Museum in Biloxi, Mississippi as the best new museum. The museum celebrates the work of George E. Orr, self-proclaimed Mad Potter of Biloxi. George is known for his bushy, unkempt mustache, his zany personality, and the funny shapes to which he made his pottery. Now, was Mr. Orr a genius? Or was he just a weird guy who made funny-shaped pottery? Former Biloxi Mayor James O'Keefe donated $1 million in the 1990s to be spent on making a museum to honor Mr. Orr. In 2004, work began on the museum, but it was all destroyed in 2005 when Hurricane Katrina came through. In 2010, the museum opened to the public after it was rebuilt, made up of 3 interesting shaped buildings. The architecture was set to mimic the outlandishness of Mr. Orr himself. In this book you can read all about Mr. Orr's eccentricity. Right, the final book I'm going to talk about is Things Not Seen by Andrew Clements. Bobby Phillips is a pretty normal kid until one morning when he wakes up and he's invisible. He goes down to see his parents and he convinces them that they're not crazy and that he's really there. They tell him not to go anywhere, to try to keep himself hidden and out of public eye. Well, Bobby can't do that, so he disobeys them. He bundles himself up and goes to the library. There he bumps into a young girl there, and when he helps her pick up some stuff that she had dropped, his scarf comes down from his face. When the girl doesn't scream, he realizes that she is blind. After that, Bobby goes back home, where him and his parents get into an argument because he was not supposed to go away from home. Later on, when his parents are going to dinner, Bobby happens to flip on the news and sees that his parents have been involved in an automobile accident. Fleeing to the hospital, Bobby sees that his parents are okay, and they make up. The next day, Bobby goes back to the library, and he meets the same girl that was there last time. They strike up a friendship. He learns that the girl's name is Alicia, and he tells her about her condition because he thinks that she will understand, as she is blind. Well, he is correct, and the two work on trying to find an answer for Bobby's problem. Why has he suddenly become invisible? Can he ever be visible again? These are some questions that this book will answer. Well, I hope you've enjoyed my book talks. I hope you will pick up one or all of these books. I thank you very much.